I'm an icon, cut the lights on. It's showtime, shine the lights on me. Go time and we don't grind lonely. Shine bright, that's what the lights told me. So I take what's mine and I ride slowly. I ain't got no time for no right moments. So I take what's mine, shine the lights on me. Shine the lights on me. Living the dream.
Hello, everybody. Live from a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Fresh into Koreatown, it is the O-ZONE. I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother, Terry the Contrarian.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get it on. We got a special guest today, the WBC green belt holder, the welterweight champion of the world, Mr. Shawn Porter, is going to be stepping in any minute now. But in the interim, we're going to get started and speak about our favorite thing, a game so fine it's played on diamonds. Let's talk about the Major League Baseball season that is starting to shape up.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's starting to shape up because I have Shohei Ohtani on my bench, and they said he's about to start hitting off a live pitcher. so it's shaping up
for you.
For you. My team is about to shape up. Yeah, no, I think it's. I think things are rolling. You know, we got a lot of injuries. I don't understand. I don't think it's been that cold out. I don't know if these teams need to change their strength and conditioning coaches. I don't know what's going on, but there are a lot of teams with a lot of injuries. And, the New York Yankees are at the top of the list.
Yeah, they're beat.
They are beat up. I hate to see Aaron Judge get hurt. He plays the game the right way. He plays the game hard. It is what it is, you know.
And the injury that he has, it usually takes a long time to recover from.
Oh, that oblique.
Yeah.
That Jermaine die.
Yeah. Max Scherzer's fooling with that intercoastal.
Man, I thought they only had that in Miami. I didn't even know that you could get an intercoastal property in another part of the country.
They got it for you. You want one?
No, I'm
get
good.
it for your birthday.
I got enough problems. That's cool, dude. At least I got until October to prepare. No, yeah, we got a lot of injuries. I have to be honest. I am very, very surprised that 97-mile-per-hour fastball to Cody Bellinger's kneecap didn't take him out.
Right?
It sounded so loud.
Oh, it looked so bad.
It was just bad. And you got Blake Snell, like we talked about during the last podcast, busting his toe.
I mean, this is just a bunch of freak stuff going on in the league.
I had Max Kepler in my lineup, and I just dropped him because even though I think Max Kepler bangs the baseball, Max Kepler had a mystery illness over the weekend, which kept him out. Thank God it didn't, impact my game.
Man, Scott Kingery just pulled a hammy. We got hammies all over the place.
What is going on? Hambo?
Where you been?
Man, yeah, we got a lot of this kind of stuff going down, and Nate Eovaldi's looking like he's out from 4 to 6 weeks for a surgery.
Got something floating around in his elbow.
Ooh, Mike Trout just came back. Yeah, it's just, man, it's going down. It's going down, and what do you know? Jacob deGrom is back. They're saying he said he had a bullpen session and he's going to be back. I tell you, this kind of thing is always dangerous.
It's always bad. I think that you should hold him out probably for a month or so.
Just because?
Just because.
Even if it doesn't hurt?
Because, this is always the prelude to saying that, oh, yeah, he strained his elbow. This is a flexor tendon. Now, next thing you know, Tommy John.
But next thing you know, Tommy John. Okay?
Boom.
Trust me on this
Trust me on this one. I got him for everybody.
You
get a Tommy John.
It's Oprah's here, giving out Tommy John surgeries. Well, I tell you what, they need him, and they need him to be him, like, desperately.
Exactly, man. You lose him. If you lose him, for a year,
it's over.
He comes back, it's over.
Oh, the great start that the Mets had will be totally and completely about how good can Pete Alonso be.
It's almost there already.
Now, the
Thor doesn't look the same.
No, he doesn't. He got dug out just yesterday by the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his ERA is what, about 4 or 5?
Something like that, yeah. He's running a 4.540.
Yeah.
It's just hard to imagine with somebody who has that sort of, stuff. But he's either tipping his pitches or something's going on because guys are on him now. Doesn't seem like the flamethrower is not enough, and it doesn't seem like everything's biting, or maybe he can't throw pitches for strikes in every count. I don't know what's going on.
Right, I see him giving up a lot of walks.
But what I do see from the New York Mets is offense, which is something we're not used to seeing. And once they get another injury victim, Yoenis Cespedes is back, I think that only enhances.
But that'll be at the end of the year almost.
Yeah.
Robbie Cano got his hand hit yesterday.
Are the x-rays back? Did you check him out?
I don't know. I haven't checked him out.
Oh, I thought you might have looked at this to see if he had a
nurse
carpal. But yeah, so you have that. I tell you the best part about the Mets is Pete Alonso, and also I do like the Mets bullpen. The Mets bullpen, by and large, has stayed solid. They went out there and spent the money to get the best closer in baseball, and it means something. Speaking of closers in baseball,
don't say it.
Cody Bellinger's doing everything he can to prove us wrong about him. And I'll say this, folks, because you guys keep trying to come at me online
hard.
And the truth of the matter is, talk to me in October. I don't care if Cody Bellinger breaks the all-time single-season home run record. If he can't get me a single to the opposite way in the World Series, he's worthless. Yes, I said it. I don't. It's great for selling jerseys and blah, blah, blah. But what we've seen the last 2 years is come crunch time, he disappears and he gives me the softball swing. I hope it's not the case. He's young, so it's not like he can't
bomb
do
off
it.
A hater yesterday.
Did.
Looked good.
Nice bomb.
Yeah.
Short swing.
Stayed back on it.
Did.
Slide piece. They threw it too many times.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's
man.
like they didn't like the gas for some reason.
Hey, you can't keep on throwing sliders.
Yeah. And they got Hader twice now.
Yeah.
But what I was going to talk about with the closers, I mean, Hader is one example, but I was going to talk about Kenley Jansen.
I knew you were.
Got to talk about the hometown guy. Kenley doesn't look like Kenley. He looks like the guy, which unfortunately seems to happen all the time, which is the same thing that's happened to Clayton Kershaw to a certain degree, is the guy who throws the cutter too often, which turns into a slider, cutter, slurve, flat fastball mix.
Well, I don't put it in the same category as Clayton Kershaw.
No. Only in the sense of losing velocity. Sorry, don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Clayton Kershaw lost velocity because he's been a workhorse for the last 10, 11 years.
Yeah, and also because he wasn't interested in throwing his 95, 96.
Yeah, he threw it when he needed to, though. He's been the best pitcher of our era. But the problem is with Kenley is just that he's had injuries, he's had heart surgeries, and he just lost it. He lost velo. And even if you had a cutter, it doesn't have to be. Mariano didn't throw his cutter 98 miles an hour.
Not at the end.
Yeah, you just need movement.
Yeah.
And he's not getting that movement. So basically, you're just throwing up there a meat fastball.
He got a clean save yesterday. I do believe that one was clean.
Yesterday, no.
Yesterday's wasn't clean.
Thames went deep on him. That's when they tied up the game.
Thames. Yeah. No.
I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
I hate to brag. I thought that was Saturday's game.
Yesterday.
Because he had a problem on Saturday. He was in trouble as well. Every single time out is Rocky.
Turned into Frankie Rodriguez.
Man. Yeah. And you just can't do that. If you have one pitch, it's not that one pitch has to be on. And I wonder what the grumblings are with the Dodgers. They can't act like they don't notice this.
I think they need to go down to the minor leagues. Maybe grab Craig Kimbrell.
Why not grab Craig Kimbrell?
Ooh, tongue twister.
Got you too. I heard
you didn't hear nothing.
Yes, I
Play
did.
it back. Let me hear it.
No problem, Craig Kimbrell. Yeah, why not grab Craig Kimbrell? That I agree. But I can say this: guys are hitting the ball nowadays, Jack. The ball seems like juice. Things are. Right. I don't know what's going on.
But though, the batting averages are suffering.
Yeah, bombs.
So you can hit the bombs.
Life is given.
Guys have always known that they can hit the bombs, but you have to suffer with the batting average. Something's got to go. It's very rare that you get high batting averages and a bunch of home runs.
Yep. And how about Christian Yelich?
Swinging the stick. Now, he's giving you high average. And you could see that the work that he's done, because they spoke about it before the games that he played, about him going to opposite field, and then he applies that during the game, which is crucial.
It's crucial. And they also talked about how coachable he is.
Yes.
And the fact that they give him information and a game plan, and they put him in the maximum percentage of winning.
Yeah.
In general, in his at-bats.
And he does it himself because he takes pitches, he watches the pitches.
You can watch his at-bats. They're a work of art right now.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
He's giving you professional work, and he's the best hitter in baseball.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, I can't front. Cody Bellinger's not far behind, but he's man. And he got robbed. Low-key, Cody Bellinger robbed him of another bomb.
He did.
Insane. And now that you're seeing a little bit of a skid coming from Tampa Bay, what's your stance?
Tampa Bay got skid marks.
They do. They got to clean up the booty.
Hey, everybody gets skid marks every now and then.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Change your bridges, Tampa. Hey, man, it's a long season.
It's a very long
Nobody's
season.
above the law.
At the very beginning of it.
Yeah, I'm 0-3 in my fantasy. I do believe I'm going to be on the top.
Are you out of it?
No, of course not.
No.
Never.
Who's your fantasy sleeper?
Right now, Hunter Dozier.
Freaking Dozier, dude.
Watch out for him. He just went deep again today.
Speaking of Hunter, I got Hunter Renfroe in my other league. And
Playing games.
And Hunter Renfroe is giving me classic Hunter Renfroe.
Strikes out, hit a bomb, you take him out or you drop him, and then he hits like 2 or 3 bombs, and you pick him back up, and then he goes over.
And they got him batting fourth. You're in the middle of a stud lineup.
What can you do?
Damn, Hunter. Help out the team, bro.
They have too many outfielders. They're like the southern version of the Anaheim Angels. I'm not going to give them the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, you're cheating them. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who hopefully soon will be the Long Beach Angels, which would be awesome. You're awesome. Yeah, and your Houston Astros had one of the more interesting games I've seen ever the other day.
Really?
They were
Which
down
one?
10-1 to the Rangers the other night and came all the way back.
It's real.
And couldn't get it done.
It's real, though.
Couldn't get it done.
The Rangers are nice.
The Rangers are probably, I would say, the surprise of the league.
Yeah, they're above 500. What are they, 11-9 or something like that?
Are they not in first place?
Maybe not. They might be tied. Let's see.
Yeah. If so, it just happened because they've been. Oh no, they're down 12-8.
12-8.
Seattle's still way up, even though Seattle's 3 for their last 10, but they're still way up. Yeah, Texas is swinging it, which is something that you always knew that they could do, but now they actually are getting some decent pitching.
And
not
defense.
Great. Yeah, good defense.
Need defense.
Gotta have it. You gotta have it. You do.
Just like cowbell.
So we're looking at this situation. They're talking about the Braves trying to get Kimbrel back. It's just amazing.
That should have been happened. That's
it's amazing. To me. And now he's bending. You heard that? Now he's saying, "Oh no, I'm not against 3 years. I don't need it. Doesn't have to be 5 years."
Because they blocked him out. They put on his blue blockers. Now he's trying to get back in the game. He's thirsty now because you don't want to hang it up when you can still play.
It's the worst.
Come on, man. They're squeezing him out.
Squeezed him out, just like the Rockies just squeezed me out because I put Kyle Freeland back in my lineup because he got dug out. Then I took him out. Then he dealt, so I put him back in. Now he's on the injured list.
You're playing games. You just got to let him ride.
Well, I mean, if I let him ride and be in the game like I did now, he's out of the game, but on Monday after the fact.
Who was it what website that let you know late?
Every website let me know late because they just let me know an hour ago.
What's his injury?
He decided that it was better for him to miss one start and take care of a recurring left middle finger blister than deal with it every start. This guy.
Okay.
So now what the rumor mill is that they're bringing up Vlad tomorrow.
It's not even the rumor anymore. It's supposed to be a done data.
So I'm just
He's ready to get up here and start crushing the ball. They said that the whole organization is dependent on it. But Dante Bichette's son just broke his hand, looks like it, maybe down in the minors, and he was probably the next thing smoking behind Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
But he just took a dose to
What a
his
great
hand.
name. Bo Bichette.
Why don't you change your name?
It's awesome. Sounds like a Star Wars character. I am Boba Shit.
That didn't sound right.
No?
Nah.
No, that's what it sounded like. To me, in my mind. Apparently, your reading can be different, but we're going to go another direction with this one. Yeah. So many injuries. I was reading about Carlos Martinez. I got Michael Wacha. It's really interesting to see what the clubs do at this point to make sure that they stay in it despite all of the.
Well, this is where it comes down to managing.
And it seems like the 10-day DL is really the 10-day injured list is really a good thing.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? The injuries are going to come down to managing. I was just speaking to somebody, which they shall remain nameless, but talking about Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is not he doesn't know how to manage his bullpen right already. And
I don't know if Aaron Boone knows how to manage any portion of the game properly. I can't think of one thing when you think of managers
where it just stands out, right?
Yeah, I can't think of one portion where I'm like, oh, well, but he is good at.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I would need to talk to some guys on the team, but do the players buy in? Do the players love Aaron Boone?
I don't think that they would tell you that.
What do you mean? They would definitely. Oh,
they didn't buy in.
Yeah, but they wouldn't tell you in the public. I'm saying they would tell me if I spoke to them in a private setting.
Private setting.
Yeah, behind closed doors, of course.
Candlelight.
No, not that intimate. It's not like I'm hanging out with Bo Bichette. It's not like I'm hanging out with Bo or Dante. Dante Bichette. Wow.
Dante was a stud.
Dante strike out a lot, give you a lot of bombs, a lot of Colorado bombs.
Yeah, Dante can swing the stick, man.
Yeah, a lot of Colorado bombs, though.
No, but he was on the Angels for a little while, right?
I don't remember Dante.
He wasn't always on the Rockies. What team was he on before? And he swung the stick. He could hit for average, too. They had a nice squad. He was just a stud. I think he might have been a little too tight.
He was very tight. I think he was...
Too much bench press.
Way too much bench press.
Stayed in that Iron Paradise.
Him and the Rock. Oh, nice. 6 reps.
Cut it short. Usually do 10, but
heavyweight. It was a heavyweight. What can you do?
What can you do?
Oh man, yeah. Baseball. It's going down. It is what it is. Moving into the basketball playoffs. You know what? I actually think that it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that the Golden State Warriors are a better team without Boogie. And I spoke to someone who said that the answer could have been, if Boogie was down with it, to have made Boogie the sixth man, which would have put less pressure on him to be incorporated into the main offense, and he could have ran the second team offense and slowed the game down with the young guys, and they all could have ran through him.
But he wasn't interested in that.
I don't know if they even approached him with it. But when you're looking at how they play right now, like how they're playing against the Clippers, with Curry, with lean Draymond, with Durant, and with Klay Thompson, this is the same team. How it looks, looks like the team that won 73 games or 75 games, whatever they won.
I disagree. Boogie's got to start. I don't see Boogie coming off the bench. I just think that you can't overuse Boogie, especially after an injury.
You would never have to worry about overusing him if he came off the bench. That's the whole point.
No, but you can just cut his minutes down. But the thing of it is that when you have an elite talent like him, I need him in the game as often as possible. You just have to do a little restructuring. Because
therein lies the problem. See, this is the point. You have to do some restructuring for something that has already been proven to work and work very, very well.
Well, if that's the case, they shouldn't have signed him.
I agree, but along your thought pattern, they should have signed him just like how the Lakers should have signed him just to keep him from the rest of the league.
I definitely agree with that.
So you agree to disagree with yourself?
No, that was with you. No. I agree to disagree with you.
No, that's you.
No, because
we want to talk about
because you're telling me that Boogie shouldn't be starting. I'm telling you that Boogie
I didn't tell you that. First and foremost, just stop playing on your computer and pay attention to the podcast we're recording. And what I said was, I spoke with someone who said that it would have been a good option for Boogie to be a sixth man. Then they would not have had to disrupt, as you would like to say, restructure the starting offense.
And I think that you agreed with him. And I'm telling you that he should start. And
either way it goes, Boogie is at the house with a torn quad. So right now, what we're saying, I hope he comes back because they're not going to win if he comes back and they try to force him back into playing again.
Are you crazy?
No, I'm not, because I've watched them all year because, as you know,
there's
our
no
mother
team out
is
there
a Warriors junkie.
Yeah, but there's no team out there that's going to be able to beat them. Basketball is not played the right way anymore, and the Warriors have
their attempt to play it the right way was to get Boogie.
No, it wasn't. Boogie stood out there and shot threes. He ran the floor just like he did when he was with the Pelicans and when he
ran the floor. And I watched several games where he actually slowed the game down and dominated on the inside.
Mm-hmm. He has that option, but he has the option to do that.
This is what I'm saying, which does not fit with the way that the Warriors play the game otherwise.
Well, obviously it does, because they wouldn't have signed him to bring him in there to not let him play.
Along that kind of logic, that's saying that Lance Stevenson obviously fits the Lakers' scheme because they signed him.
Lance Stevenson doesn't fit anybody's scheme. That's shame on that.
I'm just pointing out your logic in case you didn't notice what it was. So just because a team signs somebody does not guarantee that they fit.
So basically you're telling them to throw away money then. If you're saying that I'm going to sign somebody and then I'm not going to use them? I'm going to use him sparingly.
You're giving me classic Terry, where you're not paying attention, or you're choosing to mess up the argument on purpose. You're choosing to miss the point. Is what you're saying.
No, I just don't get your point. I don't agree with your point.
I don't even have a point. My point is
that's my point. You don't have a point.
My point
Shut it down.
My point is that Boogie's quad is messed up. Everybody can agree to that.
Yeah, but
the second piece is that now the Warriors are playing in a way that, to me, signifies what the last 4 to 5 years of Warriors basketball has become.
I think that what happened to the Warriors was good. It was just like a fighter that gets hit and gets punched in the mouth. They woke up after the Clippers came back on them because they thought that they could just mail it in, and the Clippers came back and punched them in their mouth, and they had to wake up and like, wait a minute, we're the Warriors. We can't go out like that. That was terrible what happened to them. 31 points. Come on,
unacceptable.
Man. You can't do that.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, so I think that's what woke them up more so than anything. Not just the Boogie injury, but them having the Clippers of all organizations come back on them. The Clippers can't even get out the first round.
So then they're definitely not getting out this time. And so then along those lines, if you're just running back and forth up the court, which is what the Warriors do, but they do that also while playing a lot of defense.
People don't like to talk about that.
They don't, but they lock you up. They play, and they may not lock you up for 48 minutes. They lock you up for a good about 7 minutes per game. That's a tight 7.
Yeah, and the only person on the team that does not have good defense is Steph Curry.
I agree. Everybody else has great defense. Iggy's got great defense off the bench.
You have a hard time getting the ball over Durant, the long arms.
Yeah.
Forget about Draymond.
Only thing you can do is punish them.
Yes.
Is if you had the big man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, all I'm saying is it seems like they're playing better basketball without him, and it'll be. I mean, it's a small sample size, but
I just think that them having the Clippers come back on them is what changed their whole demeanor or their mindset. Because
I feel like it's a combo. The Clippers come back on them, and then Boogie isn't there, so they're like, you know what, run it. You heard Kevin Durant talking totally and completely confidently. Mm-hmm. Come on, man, y'all know who I am. I put up points.
They can actually break. I mean, the downside, I love Kevin Durant, but he's so fragile.
He's totally fragile.
That if you put too much weight on him early in the game, he won't have any legs to shoot a jumper late in the game.
It's hard to get weight on him without calling fouls nowadays. It seems like the move is going to be at some point he's going to get suspended for all these technical fouls.
Yeah.
And that's going to be enormous if he misses a game.
The crying game, huh?
Ooh. LGBTQ?
You like that?
Wow. Interesting reference. Slid in Forrest. Big love to Forrest. One of the greatest performances I ever saw was that last King of Scotland. And he dropped down that Edie Amin. Great work. Solid work.
Solid.
Speaking of solid work, you got Greg Popovich over there overachieving, even though it seems like the Nuggets have finally woken up.
Yeah. But
and they
you can't be mad at Pop. He did as much as he could do with what he had. He's got bubble gum and tape.
Yeah, and he's still getting it done.
They have talent, but they don't have the talent to compete with these teams like the Nuggets and stuff,
Are the Bucks getting out of the East?
Yes.
I don't think they beat the Celtics next round.
I think they beat the Celtics because the Greek Freak is real.
He's real. There's no two ways about that. That's not even.
No, there is no answer. More so, he's more, especially since he's shooting a little bit better now, there is no answer for him in the NBA. I mean, there's no answer.
Where's the answer?
Allen Iverson?
No, the answer for him.
I think
out of the NBA.
Where is it?
I don't know. You just said it. I'm asking.
Maybe in the G League?
Could be. Brothers are serious in the G League.
Hungry.
Maybe it's down at Looters Park or at the Drew. But yeah, I don't. To me, the Celtics are beating teams and scoring in the 80s, and although that is not the beautiful thing anymore, that shows me that they can win by playing defense.
Right.
And Indiana doesn't have their star player, but it's still an NBA team. And to hold an NBA team to less than 90 points a couple times is very, very impressive.
Yeah, but, I mean, I like it just because I hate seeing all these 122-point games.
Me too. It signifies everything that's wrong with basketball.
Yes. I mean,
130. These are all-star score games.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
All-star game scores, really.
Can we have a little defense?
No. Try a little tenderness.
How about a 3-ball?
You got $10? Bet it. It's all bad. I can't, yeah. I hate seeing these high-scoring games, even though it's fun to watch, but it's also not,
It's not fun to watch to me. I like defensive struggle. It's like going to the baseball game and I listen to people talk about how boring baseball is, but watching a pitching duel. I love a pitcher's duel, man.
Tight game.
Man. It's a tight game. It's pressure the whole game when there's a pitcher's duel. Anybody makes a mistake.
And then you see exactly what time it is.
Yes,
you
exactly.
see who's really ready for prime time.
Exactly.
And I feel like the Celtics are more ready for prime time than the Bucks are.
Well, they have more seasoning, definitely.
Yeah, and they have a better coach. Yeah. I think they have the best coach in basketball outside of Greg Popovich.
But if they get past the Bucks, I mean, the 76ers are a serious problem.
I don't think the 76ers beat Toronto with the confusion that they have. If Joel Embiid has to have a good knee and has to not pull out or be tempted by watching the cell phone.
They have Boban.
Boban's not going to be enough against
big dude standing in the middle.
It is, and Kawhi Leonard will get him in foul trouble.
Yeah, who's going to stop Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler and Brett Brown. Brett Brown's going to stop Jimmy Butler. That's who's going to stop Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's not about talent. They have the best roster on paper in the NBA outside of the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter if they don't put it together.
Ben Simmons, man, JJ can just sit out there and snipe.
Yeah, Wesley. But it's So, I mean, I'm interested to see this next round. I think I'll actually start watching a bit more in this next round. This is something that you want to see, and it's part and parcel of what we say every year at this time.
Theater.
When will we ever see another 1 seed upset by an 8 seed in the NBA? The chances are so slim now.
With 7 games?
With 7 games in the first round.
Yeah.
And you see it. You can even see the players. Joel Embiid just came out and said the other day how this series is over, even though it's only 3-1. The Warriors series feels over.
Yeah.
The Toronto series feels over. The Bucks series, the Celtics went ahead and got them out of there.
Yeah.
But it's like, these are extra games on guys' bodies
that are not necessary.
No.
That's just squeezing out some extra TV money.
That's all it is, which is big money. I mean, I understand it's big money. It's Ricky Henderson we talking here.
Big money.
Now, that's big money. But I don't know. You know, I just it makes the first round worthless to me. You get every blue moon, you get even a team to drop a game, like how the Warriors dropped a game. Look how big of a deal it was for the Warriors to drop one game.
Right.
You know? Usually the best matchups in the first round are 4 and 5 seeds that are right neck and neck.
I don't think that they're going to bring in any extra audience by having these extra games that they think that they're getting from having the 7-game series to start off the playoffs. I know
a lot of people that don't watch in the first round.
I'd stopped watching it for a long time, ever since they put it out there. I'm not interested. It's theater.
And they stretch it out so long.
Yes.
So long. Like it's the Clippers played. Look at this. The Clippers. Ben, this is why. The Clippers played on Thursday in L.A.
Right.
And didn't play again until Sunday.
Come on, man.
I mean, wow. How much rest does a 22-year-old need?
Yeah, and that's because they have to figure out, the TV schedule and all that kind of stuff.
Because they wanted
bogus.
They want 2 to 3 games on every night.
Now, the casual fan, we look at it for the competitiveness. You watch it.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
What's going on, man? How you feeling, Doc? Come on, let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, stop the presses. You heard us get excited. That's because right in the middle of the show, Showtime Shawn Porter showed up.
It's showtime.
I mean, it's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we roll on the O-ZONE.
Let's go.
We got the champ just walked in. The man with the belt that everybody at 47 wants.
Yeah.
The green belt.
It's the belt that you want in boxing.
That's the belt you want in boxing.
Yeah,
everybody wants.
Yeah.
And that's it. In every weight class.
Yeah.
And I would say that the 47 is the most competitive weight class
it is.
at this time in boxing.
Boxing is starting to increase though, Yeah.
I
think for the last probably half a decade now, it's been just the 147s. But,
yes, everybody's had their eyes on that.
Heavyweight is starting to show up.
Middleweights are hot.
Middleweight, super middleweight. Yep. So boxing is alive, man.
Boxing, it's alive and well.
It's a good time to be
guys at 130. You got lightweights that are big names.
It's a good time to be in your prime.
It's a big. I love to hear that. I love that.
Wouldn't it be bad if I was on the other side of that? You know what I mean?
Are you crazy?
Huh?
Are you crazy? Think about that. We talk about that all the time. Michael Jordan, before those last 2 seasons, Michael Jordan, the most money he'd ever made in a season, I think, was $4 million. And then his contract ended. He went and he played baseball. He came back. And Mike was like, I need 38 this year.
Yeah.
And the number sounded like he told them he needed $1 billion.
Yeah, right.
The number sounded absurd.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they were like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
And he wrote the check. Next year he came back with one more, won him another championship, was like, I need 40 this year.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
He only needs 40. But if you think about all those guys who were playing at that time, who would absolutely dominate today,
right?
Have to watch these bums now. A bum is good for 25 per.
Bum.
A bum.
I mean, he might not even get in the game.
Once upon a time, a lot of these guys that's on the court right now, they wouldn't even.
You couldn't even make it to the league.
You wouldn't get in.
You couldn't even make it to the league.
Yeah.
So, real quick, we're wrapping up our basketball segment. Feel free to jump in because you actually came in on a really hot topic.
You know what? When the Cavs, they
and you let it go.
So
you already peaked out. You already peaked out.
The season there.
That was it.
Right. Yeah.
No, he was out last year when LeBron signed in LA.
It's time to rethink.
You guys got a lot of young talent though.
You got a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
Osmond.
Yeah. I like CD.
Me too.
I like him.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah.
It's just about rebuilding. All of the organizations, no matter how great or how small, all of them do the rebuild.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The thing with us and basketball is see for the Browns, they've been in the rebuilding stage since they came back. And so it's like
but they're there now.
It's like you guys
are the Browns. But
it's crazy because we got accustomed to being in that rebuilding stage.
Yes.
Yes. And now we see it like on paper what we have right now.
It's legit.
Like we running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Start the season.
Yeah. And we're always like that as Browns fans. We're always like can't wait for the next season. But like now it's like more than ever. It's real.
this year.
And so
now,
but the Cavs have always been in the mix.
Yeah.
You know, they've never been on the other side of that 500 line. You know what I mean? So for us to be in this position now, everybody's kind of impatient. Like, let's get back there. Let's get back there. You know?
Yes.
Bron doesn't grow on trees, though. You know, you can't just grab a LeBron.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But this is what you're saying, though. You guys got other players. But what I want to talk about is two guys that are on that premium top level who are going at it right now, which is Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook. You came in right in the middle. I mean, these dudes are going at it. And honestly, I'm seeing people say absurd things about Russ. Absurd things. Is he ruining his legacy? Is blah, 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 blah.
Like getting locked down?
Like, come on. Have y'all ever been to the park? Somebody has your number everywhere.
Everywhere.
And guess what? Russell Westbrook has been giving as good as he gets, but per game.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. That's the thing. So it's like, okay, he got locked up. He got locked up yesterday. That's not even in question.
Not just yesterday either. He's had one good game so far.
But they've only, they played 3 games now? 4 games? Something like that?
It only takes 4. You out.
Yeah, no. But it's they 2-2 or 3-1?
3-1, I do believe.
3-1. So he's got to show up now. But he's not the only guy on the court, by the way. They have another superstar in Paul George that now it's all cute. Everybody wants to be cute and, you know, shy away from the media and to have to actually be accountable for your game.
So, next question.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing. Like, when you have a Russell Westbrook on your team, you need other players that match that kind of energy.
Intensity. 100%.
And that's where the disconnect is.
You can't front on his passion for the game.
I love his passion for his game.
That's what he's talking about.
No, but what I'm talking about is that, to me, he's more of a stat chaser than actually the ball.
And I don't believe that.
And you never have. Because he puts up the numbers. But the numbers.
It's just like he said, though. It's like when you grow up playing on just at the neighborhood basketball court, you want to claim that court. You want to put up the most points.
He's in the NBA now.
I know
you got to win games.
He's in the NBA, but his mindset has not changed.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, now you got to win games.
Now you got to win games.
Now you got to win games.
Act like he doesn't win games.
He doesn't.
They win games. They're in the playoffs in the seed that they're in
blame Paul
because
George
of him.
Because he's had James Harden, he's had Kevin Durant, and all of them have gone. Oladipo, all of them are gone. He's the only person that's still there and not winning. I mean,
what are you talking about? James Harden left because James Harden wanted to be the A side.
He should.
And he did. So why are you mad at Russ for that? James Harden wasn't even the A side.
Nobody has ever been able.
James Harden was the C side.
Nobody's ever been able to live up to
down to Miami. James Harden went down to Miami in the finals and decided to have a bum finals. Whose fault is that? That's not that. I didn't make you go get drunk at Prime 112. I didn't make you do that.
How do I know?
I didn't.
How did I know? You were down there.
I didn't make James
down there, dude.
I might have had you do it. I didn't make James do it. Nobody made James not show up in that finals. And then the next day, I mean, now, granted, I don't think OKC should have ever let James Harden go.
What about Serge Ibaka?
I like Serge, but what does Serge have to do with Russell Westbrook?
He was playing with Russell Westbrook.
So Serge went to Orlando. Now he's
everybody's been somewhere. This is the problem. He's the common denominator.
See, but he's also the second longest tenured player for one team in the NBA. So now you're actually making it seem like he's the problem because he's been staying loyal. Kevin Durant was the A side the whole time he was there, and he couldn't get it done.
This is the problem. We argue about this all the time, Sean, because everybody can't be Batman.
I agree.
Somebody has to be Robin.
Let's be real. I mean, we watch the games.
We watch the games.
You have Batman and Robin.
Right. Yes.
But you have Robin not wanting to be Robin.
Yeah. This is
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's what he's saying.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But then at certain times you have to say, you know what, Batman's got this. Let him just go ahead and do his thing. And if he crashes and burns, he crashes and burns.
And here's my point. Let me get this out because you say that, and I fully agree with both of you guys. In the particular situation that we're looking at, prior to Batman leaving Gotham City and then going and joining up. Yes, and he went to the Golden State Warriors.
Oh.
And what Batman did was Batman got up 3-1 and he choked. He crashed and burned. Nobody wants to talk about that.
No.
He gave you glimpses of his fragility and his inability to actually be pressure without another whole cast of superstars. He needs the Avengers. He needs all of the Suicide Squad.
Everybody needs the Avengers.
No, they don't.
The only person that doesn't is LeBron James. LeBron James carried Cleveland.
I thought you was going to say the only person that doesn't need is Shawn Porter.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know your father.
can't do that.
We're in it, but it's also we're in an individual. You're in an individual sport.
Right. Yeah.
Because LeBron carries teams. And it took him a little while to understand that. Russell Westbrook is not built for his position to carry a team to the NBA Finals championship. LeBron,
does that make it okay for you to go 7 for 43 in games that you should have clinched? 7 for 43 in the fourth quarters or whatever that was when they were up 3-1. From that point forward, Kevin Durant could not execute. So what is Robin supposed to do? He's supposed to say, geez,
I got it.
Batman's in trouble. That's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Right.
He's supposed to say, damn, Bruce Wayne is here. Batman ain't even here. He's struggling. Let me help. And he tried to help, and you didn't like what he did?
So what's his excuse now? What's the excuse for him now?
I don't even have an excuse.
Damian Lillard is in a small market. That's the excuse because nobody really knows about it.
Damian Lillard, low-key, might be the best scorer in basketball.
He's the best point, but
he might be the best. Yeah, he's Damian Lillard is a beast, and he takes it seriously.
And he takes it very seriously.
He takes just like he put up that thing when we met him at the fight, as a matter of fact, when he's like the only dude that doesn't post all his workouts, and then he put something like cheeky up that said, oh, got to post a workout, otherwise it didn't happen, right? Like, hey, y'all know my game. Come on, man. You know how I shine.
Yeah.
And he give you a hot 16 if you need it. You drop a hot beat. Dame
Dollar.
Man. Baby Dame Dollar here. He everywhere. He got a nice flow. Anyways, that's all we got because we got better things to talk about instead of me and my brother sitting around arguing.
What's the best series right now, though? Is that's the most entertaining series, right?
Yeah, but you know what? We're talking about it right now. The first round. You know, the first round is
the best series is going to happen next week. And this is why. And this is what we talk about. And we're really trying to cause a viral moment here in general. You know, the NBA, if you remember when Dallas upset, was it Seattle? Dallas upset, there was 2 giant 8 seeds upsetting a 1 seed in the NBA. Happened years ago. Mm-hmm. The only way that this happens is the same way baseball has theirs set up. The first round of the playoffs have got to be 5-game series. In the best of 7, the better team is going to win.
Right.
All the time. That's just how it works.
But it's just extra mileage.
And what they're doing is they're putting extra mileage by squeezing out an extra couple of games for TV money. Right. That's all they're doing.
Right. And taking a chance on a guy getting hurt.
And now we're looking at all of these. Now we're looking at and how many times do you see a guy get hurt like in the 3rd round or the 4th round? That's an accumulation of games that he didn't need to play. Now you're looking at all these series. None of them are must watch because you already know who's going to win all of them.
Right.
It's just a matter of time until they're over. We were just sitting here talking about next round matchups, and these series aren't even over yet.
Yeah. They should be done.
They should be done. They should be done. Yeah. And the best thing you can do if you're one of the higher seeds is to get these teams out of there so that you don't get that wear and tear.
Right.
Like how the Celtics just did. And Celtics just went and said, you know what? Let's get this over with. Right. We're not going to mess around. 4-0. Get out of there. And it's hard to close out a team in any sport. Yeah. Any professional athletes are not looking to get closed out at all.
Right. That's why everything's usually 3-game series, 5-game series. It's tough. It's tough to beat anybody or anything 3 times in a row.
Very difficult.
That's life.
That's just this is just life. But we're talking to a man right now who has in his life dedicated himself to excellence. He has committed himself to winning and overcoming challenges. And he's done that, and he suffered loss, and he bounced back, which is the most important and the most admirable quality that I can think of, is the bounce back.
No question.
There has been, especially in the sport of boxing, an overemphasis placed on never losing. Mm-hmm. That's not what it's about.
No.
The greatest fighters of all time lose and have lost. That's how it works. What do you do when you have to come back? And this is how you test someone's mettle. And today we are very happy to have the WBC Welterweight Champion of the world with us, Mr. Showtime Shawn Porter.
I certainly do appreciate that, my man.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's really there's no blueprint to life, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's no blueprint to how you come back from a loss, you know?
You have to learn. You have to be forged in that fire.
Yeah. I remember after my loss, I'm in the room. My dad comes in. He's like, yo, you can't stay in this room. He said, go out, go hang out with your friends, do something. You can't feel down about yourself. It happened. It's over. We'll move on. We'll come back. It's no problem, you know?
And it crumbles some guys.
Yeah, it crumbles some guys. Because Yeah, you've seen my team. Anyone out there that has not seen my team is myself and my dad. My dad is my manager, but before that, he's my trainer.
Right.
And even before that, he's my father. You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, that number one job being my father is the other two just come along with
right.
that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, all in all, he has one job, and I'm just blessed that he's taking that job so serious that he's devoted everything that he wants and needs into what I want and need, and has really made his life about my life.
And he's committed as a father.
Yeah, and so a lot of times, most guys, they just don't have that guy that can tell them, that can get them out of the room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And can get them back into the gym and make sure that they have the psychological mind state of that happened, is over, move forward, and prove other people wrong.
Right.
And those people that know you, prove them right. And that's always been my mindset. My mindset's been like that for a long time. If you didn't think I was going to become a WBC champion, my mindset was to prove you wrong.
Right.
And if you thought that I could do it, my job was to appreciate your support and that's my thank you for your support.
Right.
It's showing you what we have. You know what I mean? So that's all it is, man. There's no blueprint to it all. It's just.
There's one thing I'm upset about though. You were supposed to bring the belt.
That's
right.
right.
Did you ask me that?
You said it. Before the fight.
Dang, they wanted me to bring it. Yeah, I'm supposed to, because I got my set with Fox tomorrow, and they want me to bring it for Fox. Dang.
You said, when I get that belt, I'm bringing it here, too.
You did. And you went out and got that belt.
And that's what it's all about.
That.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be here, though, man. How long is it taking me to get here? Even coming here was like going to an amusement park. I'm like, I can't wait to get there. Why does it take 40 minutes to go 6 miles?
I told you it's in your car.
Yeah. I could see the roller coaster, and I'm just like,
and can't get on.
Yeah.
And you get to the line, and they're like, from this point, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, dang, the right Superman? Jeez. Yeah, no, man. It's been great. It's been great watching you, knowing you personally. It's been great watching you shine.
That's been the best part so far. What I do is like people saying like, man, I enjoy watching you.
No doubt.
I'm like, wow. Like I had a man tell me that this morning when I was getting on the plane. He just, man, I enjoy watching you. I'm like, I never, we're entertainers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But before that, we've been in this sport, me, since I was 8 years old, so it's nothing new to me. But now to have people say, I enjoy watching you do what you do, it really is, man. It's mind-blowing.
I've been telling people consistently, I actually think that you may be the best conditioned athlete on the planet that I can think of in sports. Because I'm telling you the real. I'm talking about 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds of non-stop pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the motor going.
With the motor, I mean,
you can't even help it.
Can't help it.
No, it's a blessing. It's a testament to your training. It's a testament to your dad and whatever training regiment you guys are in and on. I think
it's a lifestyle.
It's honestly, and it's a blessing from God, because
no doubt
you I tell y'all, like, you have points in fights where you get hit with a punch, or you miss with a punch, even sometimes you miss with a punch, and it's like there's so much more that you have to fight through from a psychological standpoint, and then from the emotional standpoint, and internally, that all y'all see is the external, what's going on. You know what I mean? But for me to fight through everything that I fight through and continue to push forward, and especially at the way that I do it, it really is. It's become something that I've been known for, is my conditioning.
For real,
and it's a condition.
I haven't seen any other fighters go 12 and fight from the bell to the bell.
Yeah,
right.
And
for the whole fight.
You'll hear my dad say that in the 12th round, he'll say, when I'm going out, he'll say, treat it like it's the first round. And that's how we train. We train like that, so that when it is the 12th round, we're so conditioned, both physically and, because he says it in training, mentally, for me to treat that 12th round like it's the first round, and it starts with a mindset,
And one thing that I love the relationship that you have with your dad. Yeah. I would say it is probably the most healthy relationship in boxing between father and son, because a lot of people point to Danny and his dad. There's a lot of father-son combos where people are like, man, that guy's dad is crazy. That guy's dad is raw. This and the other. Your father is measured. Your father is a solid dude. He's a stand-up guy, and he treats it not only like he's your dad, but he also treats it on a professional level, understanding the business angle. It's something. It's great to watch.
Yeah,
it's great to watch,
and I love it. I tell him more often than not now that I love him, and I tell him that I love him because of because of who he is and what he's done for me. And it goes beyond just the boxing and how much money we've made together. It goes into, you know, how he's taken care of me and how he's taught me and brought me so far. You know what I mean? Like, I can come to L.A. and get to this studio on my own. That's because of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have I have a connection with a great man that can get me here. That's because of him. You know what I mean? I even told my boy over there, Guez, I told him, I said, man, we have the relationship that we have because of my father. And I gave him just a quick rundown of how my dad taught me how I'm supposed to cherish relationships and build those relationships and keep relationships strong. You know what I mean? And I just told him that the other day. Like I said, man, we have this because of my dad. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man.
And it's a trip because I can say this as a son, as the child. There's a ton of us, and coming along late in the order, and also getting older. You recognize things about your parents that you couldn't recognize without the maturity.
I can agree with that.
You just can't. You don't have the capacity to really recognize.
I can 100% agree with
until
that,
you
man.
get to a
I
certain
look at
phase.
myself now and how I used to be. I'm like, dang, I was immature, man. I wish I didn't say that. Or I wish I didn't do that. You know. And it really is like my son is 15 months old and he whines.
Beautiful
I'm like, what are you doing? You know, why are you whining? You know, but I look back on you know, just when I was 20 or 21, and my dad had a problem with something I did or something I didn't want to do or so on and so forth. And I look back on it now, I'm like, it was just like I was 15 months old, the way I was carrying on, you know.
I was 300 months and I was still whining.
But you lived through it, you know, and you live to, you know, it becomes a part of your testimony, you know. So my dad and I, we have a humongous, we have a testimony, you know, for anybody out there. It's not just a father and a son that's trying to do it. You know, you have uncles that are trying to do it with their nephews. You know what I mean? Or you have cousins doing it with their cousins. You know, and not just boxing. I have a lot of guys from other sports that say, "Hey, man, can you give me some advice on how to do this or how to do that?" You know, and I just do the best I can to pull from what I have that's been successful to give it to them. You know.
That's great.
You got to start somewhere. Foundation.
And I think it's important too. You know, people. So it's now because I think especially with boxing is so one-on-one in the ring.
Right.
It's like when you do have that help, who are you going back to? So now they focus on who you're getting help from. And then when they focus that the help is from the dad, well, how is that relationship going? You know, oftentimes more than not, we've seen the relationship split.
No doubt.
And so now, you know, you have a situation with myself and my dad, and everyone wants to say, how do you guys make it work? And, you know, the honest answer is there's really no blueprint. You know, we've kind of figured it out along the way. And it took me all the way to becoming 31 for us to really figure out, you know, exactly how we want to be and where we want to be. You know, so there really is no blueprint to it, man. It's just about trying to learn and fix it. You know, fix what needs to be fixed.
That's great because honestly, you look at it, and even you look at a guy like Ryan Garcia, the young kid, and his dad. It actually worked better for him, so it seems, that he split from his dad as a trainer and then went with Chapo. And that kind of thing you see often. I can't see a better scenario for you than being with your dad.
And that dynamic has to be established when you're young, though.
It's the only way that it works.
Definitely.
I agree. I have a couple young guys out there in Vegas right now that I want to sign, desperately want to sign these kids. And it's because I've known them since they were kids.
There you go.
They're 24 and 25 now. My dad started them when they were 7 and 8. And we got to the point where we went on to do our thing, and their dad took over and kept pushing it, bringing them along. And just over the last year, Dad's come back to me like, hey, man, I want you to do something with my sons. And, you know, we trying to figure out how to make it work business-wise, you know. And he says, man, you just, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. You know, if you find a coach that's better for them, you know, let's do it. He said, I'm willing to come out and learn and assist. He said, but I trust you to do whatever you need to do. So I take it to my dad.
Relationships.
I said, hey, man, I want you to train these kids, you know. He said, why me? Like,
why not you?
I said, what kind of question is that?
You the best.
He said, yeah, you're right. Well, what do you
just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, it's probably more than likely, you know. But saying all that to say, he said, man, I think their dad is the best for the situation.
Let me ask you this though: would you let your son box?
I don't want my son to box. My dad says he wants him to do everything under the sun, and so do I, except box.
Right.
So until my dad said that. So, but I do know what boxing has done for me, even from the standpoint of the kind of respect that I showed to my teachers at school.
Right.
You know, or you know, anybody on the street or whatever. You know. So I do know there's things he can get from boxing. But the dude is crazy, man. He was 7, 8 months. I would just throw little punches in his face, and he would smile. and now he knows that you're supposed to get hit with a glove. So he takes a glove and he like bangs his head against the glove, you know?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hold on. Like,
hold on, man.
If this is what you want to do, put the glove on and hit the bag, you know? So don't hit yourself.
Getting hit.
But he's crazy, man. It's something about boxing. I could tell already that there's something about it that he's gonna be attracted to it.
Wow. So, clearly it's in his blood.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Whenever you're affiliated with the
I never believed that until I see the way he acts when he comes to the gym. So
wow, really?
Yeah.
So what do you think you would be doing if you wasn't boxing?
Well, football is my first love. I also have a spirit to help. So I always wanted to be a school teacher. I just wanted to be a high school teacher and a football coach. That's all I ever wanted to do. And then my life took the road that it took, but boxing was always in my life. So it took the way it went the way that it went. But when I'm done boxing, you guys have seen me on Fox. I'm definitely gonna continue
doing
with
a great
the
job.
great
work. Yeah.
That's so much fun, man.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
Definitely have a passion for it too.
Yeah, and you got a knack for it. I think that the key is just continuing, and also we keep it 100 here, man. Most of the time, the boxers that get on TV are terrible.
Yeah,
most of them are really bad.
Yeah,
or they're either company men where they don't want to tell the truth. There's a handful of guys that I can listen to and watch. I actually like listening to Andre Ward.
Yeah,
I feel like Dre keeps it real, and I feel like he always has because he's not
SOG.
He's SOG. Yeah. He's son of God. You know what I mean?
I agree. 100%.
And I think that there's only a handful, and
a lot of the guys are biased. You know, and they're
totally biased, especially if they fought the guy that they're commenting.
Somebody that they fought against, and now you're hearing the one-sided, commentary.
And that's actually what I like most about the commentating. It's like especially when you commentate fights live, you can't fake the funk first and foremost.
Yeah. Right.
And now you got to tell the truth, and you got to call what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for me not to be biased. You know, so you sell a fight
because it's happening right now in
real
time.
You sell a fight, you sell who you think's gonna win. But if that dude ain't doing his job,
he ain't doing his job.
You gotta keep it real and tell what that other guy is doing that's preventing him from doing what we thought he was gonna do. You know,
doubt.
So it makes it fun. You know, but along with my spirit to help, man, I want to be a life coach. You know, I was actually talking last night. How can I get my psychology degree? You know,
this is awesome.
Yeah. So that's definitely gonna happen.
Well, talking like this, claim that, manifest that.
Yeah.
The power.
Yeah,
there it is.
100%.
But I tell you what, with that kind of talk makes me think you're not long for the ring, which I think is great. But I do think that there are great and interesting fights to be made right now.
I agree
with you.
I agree.
We got a caller, and we told a couple people you were coming. A couple of our faithful listeners wanted to call in and or leave you a message and ask questions, and we want to get to theirs so that we don't double up on the questions. So let's hear what Julian had to say from across the pond, mate.
Hey, what's up, guys? Julian Graham with a question for the champ, Showtime Shawn Porter. How interested are you in unifying the division? You've got Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, and, of course, the other one, Terence Crawford, who just fought this weekend. How interested are you in making those kind of fights? In addition, Bob Arum recently came out and blamed Al Heyman for protecting his stable. How much influence do you think a fighter has on making or pushing for a unification fight across networks and across promoters? Meaning, Terence Crawford seems to be out on his own with ESPN and Bob Arum, and then obviously yourself, Thurman and Spence seem to be with Al Heyman. How much do you think influence do you have if you really, really, really wanted to fight Terence Crawford? You could push that through with management. One last question. Charlo and Harrison are fighting in the weight above for the WBC, the super welterweight or junior middleweight division. My understanding is that the WBC welterweight champion, should he choose to relinquish and go up in weight, would become automatic mandatory for the winner of that fight. Is that something you're interested in? Would you pursue a world title in two divisions? Thanks a lot, champ. Bye.
I don't think that's
great
a fan.
question.
That's great questions.
Great question. I mean,
he's a writer or something. Yeah, he came thorough with his.
No, you can find Julian on Twitter. He actually was a former boxer. I met him once, and he listened to the podcast. I met him once on a set, and he was like, man, I'd love what you guys do with the boxing, blah blah blah. And so he's really
that
interested.
was smooth. I like what he did. He said, I'm gonna get this one chance. Let me throw
I'm getting them all.
4 questions.
And one
right. Well, hey, we're gonna start from the top. So I'm very interested in unifying the title. So here, right now, what I'm looking at still making this fight with Errol Spence. Mm-hmm. It's not concrete yet, but that's what I'm working on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my dad knows that's the only fight I want to have. So
right.
When you have Shawn Porter getting in the ring with Errol Spence, that's 2 belts getting in the ring.
Man,
wow. One person's gonna leave with 2 belts.
It's true.
Now there's 4 other belts out there. There's 2 other belts out there.
Yep.
Yes, 4 total, 4 big ones total. Uh-huh. There's 2 more out there. I'm hearing that Manny Pacquiao is more than likely going to give Keith Thurman a shot.
Oh, that's what it really.
And so that
was the only person I was going to mention that he didn't mention.
So my colleague Ray Boom Boom Mancini keeps saying, have these guys do a round robin. Have them do a round robin. This guy fights this guy, and then the winners fight. And I think that's how it should go. So I beat Errol Spence. I have 2 belts. I should fight the winner of Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman,
who will also have 2 belts at that point.
And at that point, there's just 1 belt. So
Manny's got a junior belt.
There's like the WBA Super Champion, and then there's the regular champion, whatever. But there's only 1 belt.
Right.
There's only one real had. The WBA is the belt to be had. So I'm interested in those 3 guys: Errol Spence. And then the winner of Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. Were that fight to happen. I'm also interested in beating Errol Spence and fighting Keith Thurman for his WBA if he doesn't fight at all. If he's just like, I'm going to fight the winner. However it has to go for me to get those 3 belts. I'm very interested in those 3 belts.
Right.
That's the first part of that question. Other part of that question is myself and Terrence Crawford. We're good friends. Him and I, we've spoken. We have a understanding that we're not gonna get in the ring unless it's something that you and I want to do. We're not gonna force this. We're not gonna let people force us to fight because it's what they want to see. He said, "There's guys that I'm interested in fighting in the division." Before he moved up, and he said, "I got other guys on my mind. You're not even on my mind." Right. I said, "Well, shoot, you was 132 pounds. I was 165 in the amateurs. I never saw myself fighting you. You're not on my, you're not on my radar, So it's a mutual understanding. I think if I were to get 3 belts and he's looking at having that situation come over and fight somebody, I think he would take on me because that's a legacy fight. That's a fight for it all,
That's
so
a unification
I think
belt.
then it will be something we would talk about, but you'll never see him bashing me in public or on
I've never
media.
even seen him mention it. And what's funny about that is when we watched the fight this weekend, I actually got online and I was talking to people because everybody is hyping up the fights between Terrence and Earl. And they even were talking about Terrence fighting Pacquiao and blah, 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 blah. And I brought up your name to a few people, and I was like, honestly, I don't think that Terrence beat Shawn on any day. Yeah. Not the Terrence that I saw last Saturday. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense because I've never heard you speak about him in public, and I've never heard him speak about you.
No, I mean, and I have a few brothers in boxing, and he's definitely one of those guys. Danny Jacobs is another one of my brothers in boxing.
Danny's our guy.
Love
Danny,
that dude.
Me and Danny did some charity work.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, up in Canada, man. Right when he first got done with his treatment, and it was 4 kids with cancer.
Okay,
and obviously he had a very big, a very very big stake in that.
Of course.
What a great guy. I'm so happy he got this fight with
Canelo.
Man,
the story's
insane.
The story that he has is just unreal.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah. So the other side of that, when you talk about fighters controlling their destiny or, making the fights that they want to make, I said point blank, like, I want to fight Errol Spence. I don't want to fight anybody other than Errol Spence. Right. Once upon a time, it was Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. Since then, it's just Errol Spence. So that's what we're going for. If by chance something happens and that fight isn't able to happen, then you have to come to me with that reason why. And as long as I understand that reason why, then we'll move forward.
You move forward from there.
But when you as a fighter, you're supposed to be able to say what you want to do.
Right.
And as long as it's doable, it should happen, Now you have a situation where you have PBC boxing and you have Bob Arum and Top Rank. You also have Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, and then across the pond you have Eddie Hearn working with the Zone now.
Yep.
I don't think I don't think there's a problem right there with PBC working with the Zone. PBC is with Fox, so there will be that situation. Mm-hmm. But I think that the situation is just a matter of something that I can't say on air. So let me figure out how I'm gonna say. It's when they say you slinging, I think that's what it is. It's like who's got the bigger stick, and because right now PBC has all the welterweights, we got the bigger stick. So
right, much more leverage.
That's what it is. But you got to be willing to compromise. And I think right now Bob Arum, and he's stuck in his old ways. He's stuck in being who he is, and wanting things to be done his way, and that's not the way boxing is done anymore.
Yeah, things change.
Some people have come in, started PBC, and they've made it so that boxers can do what I'm doing right now, which is basically saying what I want to happen and being patient and allowing certain things to happen so that what I want can be actually come to fruition. So I don't really think it's I don't think it's necessary a situation where PBC won't work with Top Rank or Bob Arum.
It's possible.
I feel like it's possible. I just think it's a matter of the compromise, and that's where you run into trouble.
Right.
Where some people
which really has nothing to do with the fighters.
It has nothing to do with the fighters at all. Yeah, Terrence. I know Terrence. He would fight. He would fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny left Top Rank. He would fight Errol Spence if they let him. He would fight any of the big heads.
I don't get
out
the feeling that he's scared.
He's not scared at all.
I don't get that feeling at all. He seems like he's on an island over there.
Exactly, and I know him right now. Like he's desperately wanting to get off of that island so that he could get on the ship with everybody else, and everybody know that he's actually on the ship. Right now,
100%.
Right now he's on the island. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this dude ain't real," But once you go past the island and he's able to jump on that ship, everybody's gonna find out what he can do. He's something special for real.
Really?
Yeah, he's
now
special.
considered the pound for pound, but do you consider him the pound for pound? Or
I don't mess with pound for pound
because I never hear your name mentioned in that.
Yeah, I know, and I don't mess with the pound for pound. I think that pound for pound is just it's your opinion,
right?
It's what you
and
like,
everybody's opinion. That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's what you think. I remember when Dre was still doing his thing. I thought hands down he was pound for pound, but you have other people arguing that even though Floyd wasn't fighting at that point, Floyd was pound for pound.
Yes, I remember that.
And then Manny's pound for pound, and then there was a couple of smaller guys out there that were pound for pound. I think that the pound for pound, it's not a joke, but it's your opinion. And so I leave the pound for pound list alone, especially like I don't like to put numbers on it. I will tell you who I think the best fighters are out there, and then let you tell me who the number one guy is, and I'll give you the thumbs up. Like, all right, that's who you think is number one.
So who do you think is number one?
Number one
out of boxing in general, not just in your division, or whatever, but just the number one fighter. Period.
You got I'll give you a list.
You
got Errol Spence, you got Terrence Crawford, you got Shawn Porter, you got Anthony Joshua, you got Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko is definitely in that conversation.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he's definitely top 5 in that conversation. And then you got Deontay Wilder. Took a draw in his last fight, but you can't deny his power,
Yeah.
So, I think that his power alone keeps him in the conversation, Yeah, so.
Yeah, I like to throw Usyk in mine because he's the only unified.
And Usyk, that's the one I always forget.
He doesn't. It's because he doesn't get
I
get
always
burned.
forget Alexander Usyk, and the thing about him is he has all 4 belts, right?
He is the only unified. He's got 6 belts.
Yeah.
He's the only unified champion in the whole sport.
Yeah, but here's the thing that separates him is he can box. He can.
He can do it however you can bang.
He can do it all.
He can do it all,
and that's what makes him pound for pound. That's what puts him in the conversation of pound for pound. I think that's the number one thing. If you're talking pound for pound, who have you fought? And what did it take to beat those guys?
Right. So did you fight them at the right time?
Yeah.
Right, but that's what my problem is with Lomachenko. Because he really hasn't fought a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that he hasn't fought anyone, but a lot like Terrence Crawford. Who can he fight? He's still moving up. He's still moving up weight classes, and somehow outmatching everybody he's fighting. So he's definitely in the conversation.
To me, I've seen him in 2. Now I will give him this. I've never seen anybody just make fighters quit.
Yeah,
I've never seen somebody
that say
just
something about it. You know what I mean?
Multiple fighters quit. Just be like, man, you know what? Forget this. I'm cool. I'm good. I had enough.
Yeah.
And that's admirable. But in my opinion, I need to see a larger sample size. And really, I've seen him in 2 competitive fights.
Yeah.
and he got off the mat with Jorge Linares.
Yeah.
Which he was losing that fight. He got off the mat and did what he needed to do, which was the most impressive thing I've seen in his whole career to me.
Yeah.
And yet that was a good fight.
Mm-hmm. It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
And the fight that he lost, which to me is the blueprint to beating him, which is to rough him up. And I think that Loma likes to be cute. I don't think that he really wants a pressure fight. I don't think, and honestly, I think that maybe my dream fight right now might be him versus Mikey Garcia. And there's a lot of fights that people want to see. There's a lot of fights that I want to see.
I thought it was with Tank.
But yeah, I would love to see him fight Tank. But I would.
Him and Tank is
I think it's a really good fight.
Him and Mikey Garcia.
Mikey is the guy
I think
that's
all
in
three of those guys. You know.
Yeah. And Mikey's the guy. But the thing is I can't count on Tank to be focused. And that's a problem for me. I love rooting for you because win, lose, or draw, I know that you're coming on the night with your A game. Yeah. I know that with your A effort. Put it like that. Yeah. You can never know because everybody's ever played any sport knows some nights, man, I thought I trained. I thought I had it. Tonight wasn't the night. I don't know what happened. Yeah. But your effort is always there. Yeah. Mikey Garcia, I have never seen Mikey Garcia not prepared for a fight.
You know how they say you learn more in the loss than you do in the win?
Yes.
My fight with Kell Brook, when I go back and I watch that fight, the effort was no doubt.
Oh, we were at that. I was at that fight. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's the first time I ever saw you fight live.
So the disconnect was just the mental side of things, and me not being. I just knew I was gonna knock him out. So
that's what it looked like from the crowd.
Yeah.
It looked like you were committed to a knockout, and he was committed to popping a jab.
Yep.
He was committed to one, not getting knocked out, but two, to box.
But check it out. With all the experience that I have, that never clicked to me. You know what I mean?
This is what's crazy.
So you go through that. And I'm realizing, like, as I'm watching the fight, but I already knew it in my head after I watched the fight in my head. I'm watching it, and I'm like, it didn't click. And I was like, I can't allow that to happen anymore.
Right.
Then that's how you take a step up. Even though you lose.
No doubt.
Even though you lose, you take a step up because you're able to realize something about yourself. And I was able to realize that about myself. And I've never been back in that situation
again
because I've learned from it. Yeah, for sure. So when you talk about Shawn Porter fighting Errol Spence, you say, oh, well, Errol hasn't fought anyone. Errol's done this, Errol's done that. He's been so dominant, so on and so forth. You can be 100% on his side. But I know from experience when you say he hasn't been through this and he hasn't been through that, exactly what he hasn't been through because I've been through it. I've been through certain situations that he hasn't been in, and it'll show up on fight night.
Wow. It's going down.
Makes it fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. So. Now, here's another thing we ain't going to keep you all night, but another thing that I wanted to cover is you fought in amateurs at a much higher weight.
Yeah.
What was that? What explain that situation if you can?
I fought in the amateurs at 165 pounds. And so from the age of 17 to 21, I fought at 165 pounds. So 17, I'm a junior in high school, and I'm playing football. So I had football weight. Yeah. Like if I had pictures in front of you right now, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So I had a lot of muscle mass, and my dad didn't want. So when you fight in tournaments, you gotta lose that weight and hold that weight off for the entire week of that tournament.
Jeez.
You get a couple weeks break, and then you on to the regional.
15, 20 pounds is not realistic.
My dad's like, no, you're not gonna do that. He says you can fight there, so that's where you're gonna fight at. So when we turned pro, I thought I was going to be fighting at 160 pounds or 168.
Right.
Makes sense to me. My dad, that's the blessing of having your dad. He understands that in the professional ranks, you can't do that. These guys are coming back to the ring at 180 pounds, 190 pounds.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is your walking around weight. Doesn't make sense for you to do that. Yeah. So we slowly started to pull the weight down to 154 pounds. And then my dad, at that point, Mayweather was extremely hot.
Right.
Floyd was hot, coming up to 47 was hot.
Right.
He was still
made 47 the hot weight.
Yeah, he was still like 35 and 40 coming up, and it was the hot division.
And Manny came up,
and my dad was like, "If we can make this weight, this is where you're gonna become a champion." And I wasn't sold on it at all. I mean, I'm 165 pounds, 170 pounds.
Wow. And
playing
in shape,
football.
165.
Yeah, playing football. I'm like, there's no way, So we really just tested myself, really challenged myself, and once I found out I could make the weight, it was just a matter of how you do this in a healthy way. And lo and behold, now I don't even look the same as I did in high school.
Wow.
I'm actually smaller than I was in high school.
Not many people say that.
Right? Yeah, right. And it works for me, you know. So my dad is he's definitely I told him the other day I came to the gym. This was like the week after my fight. I came to the gym and no, excuse me. This was the week of my fight. I came to the gym just before we came to LA, and I told him, his first thing I said to him when I said, yo, I got a new name for you. He said, oh yeah, what's that? So right now we call him KP the boss, and because he's always been the boss,
right?
So and the KP just goes where it is. So I looked at him and it was kind of a joke, but I said, I'm calling you the maestro. And he smiled. He was like, what? And then my other coach next to me, he said, oh, that makes sense. I said, you orchestrating everything, man. You always have, you know, and this is how we operate, you know. He lays it down on the paper, and then I put it out in the ring, man. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. It really has been great, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, along those lines,
let me answer his last question.
Oh, sorry,
because I didn't even because what I'm gonna say is I didn't even know about that.
That option.
Yeah, I didn't know about the option. If I were to relinquish my title, move up a weight class, that I would have a immediate opportunity to fight for a championship. Grateful for that. That sounds like a good deal to me.
Right.
But we stand at 47. We got a little bit more work to do down here.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
It's
a lot of work. There's a lot of great fights to be made with you at 47.
A lot of great fights.
Not even just one. And there's not many divisions. You know what I've realized recently, and it's been a very difficult realization, and I'm going to exaggerate here, but honestly, when you watch all these fights and you watch everybody fight, guys, most of the fights are totally lopsided. It's only every blue moon that you get fights that are actually
competitive, right?
Competitive fights that have parity. Most fights, either a guy isn't where he should be, isn't where the other guy is at the time, or it's too soon, it's too late, it's this, it's that. Very rarely do you get guys fighting in their prime that are good fights.
Yeah,
I would venture to say there's really only 3 to 5 good fighters in every division. And think about it. Now, 47 may be the anomaly, but if you actually start lining them up in the middleweight division, they're talking about this kid Jaime Munguia just talking about how he wants to fight Canelo and Triple G. If you lost, you know how far the distance is between a Jaime Munguia and a Gennady Golovkin.
Yeah.
The old Gennady. Yeah. just like now, we're watching at 47. We're watching Manny Pacquiao still be effective,
right?
Because of his greatness, his prior greatness. And that ain't smoke and mirrors.
No.
That's how much ahead of the pack that he was.
Yes.
You know, and fights against young bulls that he's still in there junking them.
Yeah.
But here's the cool part about it, and I get what you're saying, but I mean let's look at it like this. When there's a class in law school, how many of those kids graduate and get that law degree?
Right. What I can tell you
out
is
of those guys that get that law degree, one of them's the number one guy.
One of them's the partner.
Yeah, right. One of them's the number one guy in the top of the class. And
yes.
You have everybody that's, you know, a little bit further down the line. The same thing goes with boxing. You know, outside of the welterweight division, where right now we literally have skills, power, talent, reflexes, the whole speed, quickness, the whole 9, and it's just a bunch of us. But in every other weight class, you know, everybody else is, you know, there's one doctor.
There's only one in town.
There's one graduating, getting that medical degree. Everybody else is a little bit further down the totem pole.
That's it. That's we look at the heavyweights. We got AJ, who in my opinion is like leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the party. You got Wilder, who's got that thunder in his hand, so anything could happen. You got Tyson Fury, who's still, I think, acclimating to his body, getting back in shape. You know what I mean?
And your boy Usyk.
And now you have Usyk up there.
Usyk's gonna move up.
Yeah, they said he's moving up.
Usyk's
he's
gonna
supposed
move
to
up.
He's supposed to fight Chisora, I do believe.
No, he's gonna beat everybody.
Takam. Yeah,
he's gonna beat everybody.
Do you think?
He's great. He's a great fighter. He just needs to be bigger.
I don't think he can beat Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
I don't think he can beat Joshua.
So, Andre Ward fought at 178 pounds in the Olympic Games, gold medal. Everybody was bigger than him. He was, you know, eating to make weight every day because he was naturally a 165-pound fighter. But he moved up because, you know, the other guy, Andre Darrell, was 165. He didn't want to mess that up. He moves up to 178 and he's beating everybody. It was like, well, okay, everybody's bigger than him. How's he winning? He's quicker than everybody. If he's not quicker than you, he's faster than you. If he's not faster than you, his boxing IQ is so much better than yours that you can't touch him.
And Dre's a special dude. And Usyk, along with that unification, has traces of that.
Yeah,
a lot
so
like
I'm just saying that, and Evander, So I'm just saying that
but
he has the makeup and everything that it
for
takes
the ability to
beat those guys one way or another. Yeah,
herein lies the problem. Heavyweights now are giants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't get hit, then that changes. You know, then if you're quick enough so that you don't get hit, obviously that's not a problem.
Right.
But you're talking about Anthony Joshua stepping into the ring at 260, 254.
Is he that big?
Yes.
Ooh, that boy big as a house.
Yeah, he big.
That's a grown man out there, Jack. He's a big fella
with the skills,
and with the skills to pay the bills.
But he's
not
slow.
that.
I said it.
And he's slower than than some heavyweights, but he's not slow.
He's slower than some heavyweights, but he's slower than Usyk, I would say. But he's not slow.
Yeah.
I would even say he's slower than Wilder, but he's not slow. And he's sound,
and fundamentally sound.
Yeah, he's very fundamentally sound.
And that's what it's about.
And he's not as stiff as you would think somebody so muscle bound would be.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
not like a Frank Bruno.
Now a Tyson Fury is completely loose.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But he has no thump. But what Frank Bruno back in the day, you know, he's another British fighter, but he was very, very stiff. He was ripped up, and he was very stiff.
He was super ripped.
Yeah, he was super ripped, but he could never. When he fought Mike, you know, when he fought Mike Tyson, he couldn't even really move. He wasn't limber at all.
I got a feeling the heavyweight division is gonna start. It's gonna start to transition like we've seen in basketball, where these centers they can step back behind the arc and shoot them threes.
You think speed's gonna be more of a factor now?
I think speed is gonna be more of a factor. I think guys are gonna be looser than we've seen them in a long time. A lot like Holyfield was loose.
Yes.
Riddick Bowe was loose.
Yeah.
And the list goes on from there. Obviously, we know Muhammad Ali was loose.
Right.
The loosest.
We kind of went through a stage now where they got tight and guys,
Larry Holmes was loose.
Just straight 1-2, and that's how I knock you out. But now I think guys are gonna start. That boxing mentality is gonna come back now.
Well, sticking there, I want to cover one final thing. Again, like I said, I want to wear you out, but one final thing. There's a serious problem. There's two problems in boxing and in all combat sports. One of them, and that forever, every boxer that comes on, we talk about this. Why in the world can't boxers figure out a way? Obviously, you have to keep a close eye on your purse because boxing is known, like the music industry, for snatching your money. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many gyms that I've gone and trained in where I'll see this ex-champion or this guy come in. I'll be like, wow.
Unreal.
It's unreal.
It's unreal.
And the guy is literally
sad too.
It's very sad.
I mean, I can't tell you how many. He can tell you how many
times.
I'm
closer to the sport and the situation than you are.
Yes, yes. He can tell you how many times I've called him and be like, "You never guess who came up to me while I was on the bag today."
Yeah,
and was hurt. Was hurting out there financially.
I stand firm on what I believe. I believe boxers are smarter than they've ever been. I believe that boxers are actually being treated more fair than they've ever been treated.
Okay.
But I think boxers now, they know to watch their purse and who's getting what and what those percentages mean. And
knowing where your money goes.
I'm still not sure about the taxes. I don't know who paying their taxes out there, but I think they get smart on that too.
I think that's not even just boxers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people in this room,
it's about that union. This
is where we were going.
Yeah, the union
is about combat sports. Are the only major sport without a union. Mm-hmm. It's totally and completely every man for himself.
Yeah, it's still we're coming out of the Stone Age, but in terms of sports, combat sports is in the Stone Age. We're the last to do everything. Now you see boxers just now getting strength and conditioning coaches. How long has that been in every other sport?
Yeah.
And the list goes on from there. I think that you talking a union, we're a long way from a union because everybody is still active. I don't really want to name drop, but all of the promoters and managers that have brought boxing to where it is now, they're still active and they're still working, and they don't want to change anything.
Right, the Good Old Boy Network.
Right. Yeah, they don't want to change anything.
Since they're not taking punches, the system ain't broke.
Yeah, and the system ain't broke. But
So
I think eventually something like that will happen. I know the WBC, they're steadily trying to change things to make the sport better.
I like Mauricio.
Yeah.
And I like with him, his brother, and his
yeah.
late father,
so
they are.
They have, and his father was really the one that started off.
Yeah, his father was the man.
They developed the blueprint, a way to affect boxing in a positive way. And I know personally that they're doing things to make the sport better and better and better. Now, if I were to come to them talking to them about a union, if they do understand what I'm talking about, are they willing to make that change, or are they willing to do the things that are needed to implement that kind of change? Right now, I'm not saying the WBC specifically, but I'm saying right now, boxing, I don't think boxing is going to want to make that move, make that change.
All right, and then the second piece is something that's all over the news right now, and you can't get away from
boxing news.
All over the boxing news.
Yeah, I thought that was first.
Is that
yeah?
It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
That Big Baby is still testing positive for stuff.
I just tested him a few minutes ago.
I got a hold of his sample.
Test me down.
Come on, man. Calm down. You're dirty.
Yeah, and this guy, I mean, it's terrible because this guy blew it.
I looked up and it was 4 tests.
Oh my God.
Test me down.
Like, yo, bro, at least take the masking agent.
Yeah.
Damn.
Can I get one clean?
Can I get one clean test?
No.
Can you have your brother take the piss test or something? Get somebody else do something.
How you gonna dispute the one you disputed? That's a contradiction. Now you contradicted yourself.
Come on, bro. Come on. And now we had the heavyweight champ green belt holder was here. Deontay Wilder was called in, and we're gonna play you what he said about juicing, because he had a situation where he had 3 opponents in a row got caught juicing. Yep. And honestly, I felt like, and I told him, I really felt like it stunted his growth as a fighter, as a boxer.
It did, yeah.
Because he couldn't get the rounds that he needed to learn stuff. And we've seen him do better in these last few. You want to play the clip?
Oh man, that's supposed to be queued up already.
That's my bad. I didn't tell him. I just threw him a curveball.
And what y'all doing? Y'all just sit there and watch? Wow.
No, Ernie runs the sound.
Yeah. Hey.
High pressure to Porter White. 12 rounds.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, my dad said be professional. Everything you do.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, and I ain't mad at y'all at all, but I'm like, hold on now. You supposed to have a job. You just got the headphones on.
That's my bad. I didn't tell him. But it is pretty easy to find. So they should. That's what I think. I think they should get a loss on their record. Yeah. Now, what can we do to ensure these individuals are being clean?
Well, now y'all bring a good point about put the loss on the record. I ain't thought about that one. Now that one is a good one right there. I think they should do that. I'm a talk. See, can I put that in consideration and put it in somebody's ear for that one? Now they should be on, because a lot of them try to protect their records and try to, but they use that PED to get a boost. You know what I mean? What they want to do is they want to use, and then they want to use and abuse, because you definitely abuse your body doing this stuff. And then after they win, they want to look themselves in the mirror and say, I did it.
Right.
I'm a champion.
So that was the clip that we had before he finally got a string of fights where he could actually fight.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight
King Kong Ortiz.
No, that was that Ortiz? Yeah.
Then he had to test.
And then he had to
test clean to fight him.
Then he had to test clean to fight him about 6-7 months after the fact.
I forgot that he tested positive.
Ortiz tested positive.
He had a couple Russian guys.
Povetkin
tested,
and then another one.
Yeah.
And then another one. Yeah, he had about 3 guys in a row that it fell off on the test. Now it seems as though with the 47 level, thank God we haven't seen any major guys jump out. It seems like all of you guys have a respect for each other.
Yeah,
you, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Earl Spence. The most tested man maybe in history, Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
everybody seems to have that sort of respect. But as a parting, just a little piece, what's your stance on the performance enhancing, and what do you think is the proper punishment or should be done?
I got tested 7 times between the announcement of my fight against Danny Garcia and the time that we fought. And then if you include the night that we fought, I got tested 9 times.
Wow.
So
that's blood and urine?
The 7 times during the course of camp, I think it was blood probably 5 or 6 times.
That's a lot of blood.
And then urine every time. No, it was the urine. That was the
wearing you down.
Yeah. Trying to get that out. But man, it's tough because from me from my perspective, I don't understand it. I don't understand that mindset that I need this to be better,
right,
or I need this to be stronger, or whatever. I don't know that mindset.
Right.
So I don't know what pushes a guy to feel the need to take it, to do it. And I really don't know what actually enhances when you do take it. You know what I mean? So for me, I can't relate to it. So when I can't relate to it, when I don't understand it, it's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, so the reason why they have us in the pool for random drug testing is so that they make sure that we're clean year round and we're not testing anything using anything and then using something else to mask what we're using, you know?
This is a situation that came up with Canelo and Golovkin.
Yeah. So but I do you mentioned that the welterweight division hasn't had any problems, but then you take a look at the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
I think
the middleweight division, heavyweight division.
Yeah.
There's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of divisions, really. Matter of fact, I would go out to say that the welterweight division may be the only division that I can think of where I can't think of anybody that's been juicing.
So if we talk repercussions for doing things like that, it's got to be something that's gonna hurt you. It's got to be something that's going to hurt
something really sacrificial.
Something that's going to hurt your pockets.
Right.
Something that's going to hurt your integrity is already hurt.
Right.
Oh, shot.
Because you're doing it yourself.
I think Big Baby's out the league. Yeah. I don't even think that. I don't think he'll get more.
Somebody said that. Somebody said should it be a band?
Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach said it should be a lifetime ban.
Yeah. Somebody said it should be an indefinite ban. I think that depends on. I mean, I guess what you're taking, maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like he took everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he took everything. Like, man, he got a value pack. Steroid value pack.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't. I think maybe that should be the thing. Mm-hmm. I think maybe you don't suspend Big Baby indefinitely, but you make it known that whoever tests the next person that tests positive, you're suspended indefinitely.
You got to find another profession.
Yeah, you got to find another profession. Because then now that brings an understanding that, if I do this is more than just I tested positive and I'm out for a year, but, I get out of the fight that I didn't really want to have in the first place,
That's true.
Right. Yeah, then there's that. Now, and then to tag along with that, how hard is it? Because the number one drag everybody likes to run is, I took it and I didn't know. Is it hard to get a hold of somebody to find out, you know what, I don't know about this, I don't know about this, and I don't know who I can call.
Yeah. When we sign up for this stuff, believe it or not, they give us every way possible to not test positive. It's not like they're setting us up for failure.
Mm-hmm. They really are setting you up for success.
They're setting us up for success. Setting us up for failure will be, okay, you're in a random pool, and we'll tell you, you won't know.
We'll give you a call. We'll knock on the door.
We'll knock on the door. Right. That's setting us up for failure, but they set us up for success. They give us a list of things that we can take, a list of things that we can't take. Oh, and guess what? If you have any questions, here's my number.
Wow.
You don't have the number to the guy that just came to test you. Oh wait, you have his number because he has to make sure that you're home.
Right.
You don't have the number to the president that sets you up with. Oh wait, you do, because guess what? They want the fights to go on.
Right.
They want to make sure you're successful. Right. They don't want to. They're not setting you up for failure.
Right.
You know? So anytime a guy says I didn't know what I was taking, he's lying. Any guy that says, well, my conditioning coach gave me this, and he's the one to blame. Oh, guess what? You're looking for someone else to blame.
Right.
We're grown men. We ain't putting nothing in our mouth that don't taste good.
Professional athletes.
Yeah. We ain't putting nothing in our mouth that we can't identify.
Yeah, this is your livelihood.
So anytime you hear that, man, it's a bunch of bull. Unfortunate what happened to Big Baby, because I was rocking with him.
Were you?
I was rocking with him for the simple fact that I'm really patriotic.
I see
that.
Yeah, you wanted him.
I'm really patriotic. If you talk about Cleveland, say nothing but good things. If you talk about my Browns, you better smile after you say something. And then if it's another guy coming to the U.S. to fight one of my guys, I'm rocking behind my guy no matter what. So
and you can respect that.
Yeah. So he hurt not only himself, his pockets, his family.
He hurt his pockets.
He
may have generationally hurt his pockets.
Yeah.
Because in
and
real life,
sport. That's the worst part about it. And you hurt the sport.
You hurt the game.
Yeah, you hurt the game. Yeah.
Because in real life, even if he would have just had a decent showing, he could have went in there and got knocked out.
Yeah.
He would still get more fights.
Yeah.
There's still enough. Yeah. He had built enough name in the heavyweight division so that there was still fights to be made for him, not only to make whatever money he was going to make for that fight.
Now he's always going to have that cloud over his head of him being dirty, even if he is clean.
Even if he is clean. Even if he is clean.
The fact that he tested, I found out that he tested positive during in his kickboxing or whatever that was that he was in.
For the same thing.
I think that you should be banned. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you're committed to it now. Yeah. You committed. There it is.
I see that.
He disputed the dispute. That's all I can wait.
That was too much.
I'm going to tell you where he went too far. He went too far on the Jesse Smollett tip, in my opinion.
Oh, did he?
You know what he did? Yeah. Because his manager came out and said, watch, this is racist.
Oh, he tried to play the race card.
He tried to play the race card.
Wow.
His manager came out and said, watch, you guys are going to see when we get vindicated that this whole thing was a big race
manager can't come out and recant?
Manager didn't know what was going on. Manager's like, yo, if you
telling me, you saw what Eddie Hearn said?
No.
Eddie Hearn revealed text messages. He said he actually wanted to give, just like you were saying, the promoters want the fight to go on. Eddie Hearn ain't getting paid for Anthony Joshua to not fight.
Right.
And so he goes, he said he revealed the text messages because he said he wanted to believe Jarrell, and he said that.
What he said the way he said it though.
He said, hey man, listen, I bloody wanted to believe the man. Yeah, he was like, I'm putting it on my kids and everything. You know, I promise you, I never would do something like this. You know. and then he went hard on the expletives. He was like, Eddie Hearn seems like he's personally, but Eddie Hearn.
Why would they want the fight to still go on? Well, that's not fair to AJ.
No, he didn't want the fight to go on. He's saying that he gave him the benefit of the doubt because Big Baby hit him and was like, no, this is a big misunderstanding.
The baby, please.
You're gonna see when you're gonna see when the second sample comes in,
it's gonna be dirty.
Sorry,
I don't know about the fifth one.
I'm at the third sample.
Right,
it's gonna be dirty.
Hey, look, he's like, hey man, which one I give you? Which one is that?
Wait a minute, give me that one. Wait, that wasn't even mine, man. That was
right. I don't know,
sample,
man. Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna be on Fox tomorrow. I gotta get my hair done, so y'all gotta let
there
me
it
go.
is.
Wait,
fellas,
I come back tomorrow.
No, it's love. It's love, man. You're doing your work. We leave. We always what do you say, man? Thank you for coming by, brother.
Man.
We appreciate it. You are family
pleasure,
in the
man.
O-Zone. We're
Absolute
always rooting
pleasure.
for you.
Thank you.
We're gonna leave with a quote, and it is from a fella named Bill Bailey. And it is, in unity there is strength. We can move mountains when we're united and enjoy life. Without unity, we are victims. Stay united, folks. We're all in this thing together. Prayers up for the family and the people out in Sri Lanka and all over the world who are suffering these just despicable, cowardly acts of attacking people while they're worshiping. Doesn't get much weaker than that. But we are truly all in this thing together. When you get time, say hey to Shawn Showtime Porter. He's here for the people, folks, and he's the champ. This is the O-Zone.
O-Zone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is not just a game. This here is my life. The camera's on me.